This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Hey, from the A-Cup House Studio on the Grand Ole Opry Plaza, welcome in all things Opry and WSM Radio. This is where it happens. As a matter of fact, when you tour the Opry, you can tour our place too. Yeah, our interactive museum exhibit called Behind the Airways. We hope you will when you come to the Opry. As a matter of fact, Kelly was there just a few hours ago, and you were there late because you were hanging with T. Graham Brown.
It was one of those nights. I knew it was going to be a little bit later than normal, and it was Opry Goes Pink. So we had a lot of extra stuff that we get to do throughout the show. So normal show for us wraps, what, a few minutes after 9?
Yeah, 9:15-ish.
Yeah.
Somewhere along in
We
there.
didn't wrap the show till after 9:30. So that was already putting us back a little bit. And then we did an after show with T. Graham. And I love T, but T likes to talk. So I got in bed at midnight.
Especially when you're talking about R&B, Memphis to Muscle Shoals, his new album.
And we got to surprise him on stage. They brought out a plaque because the album was #1. So they brought him a plaque on stage telling him, and he was so excited. He did a victory lap. You know, he's standing beside me, and they handed him the plaque, and he walked all the way out, and he showed it to everybody, and he walked around, and he held it up. I was like, man, that's so good. We love him. So congratulations to T.
Speaking of Memphis to Muscle Shoals, I know you got an update on your trip to Memphis with the St. Jude folks recently.
It was so
Country
cool.
Cares.
This is something that they've been doing 35 years, Country Cares for Kids, and I'll dive into more of it, but just surpassed a milestone, not only in years, but also in dollars raised for St. Jude. So that's coming up. Our friends Old Dominion were awarded with a very special honor. So I'll have more on that. That was all happening in Memphis. It was a very quick trip. I was there and back. Got to see the ducks at the Peabody swimming in their little pool.
And they didn't walk for you?
I didn't get a chance to do the
timing was
march.
off? Okay.
Because they march at 11 and 5. So they come down from their penthouse at 11 and they go back up to their penthouse at 5. I didn't realize it was that formal. It's a big deal.
Union Ducks.
Union
11
Ducks.
and 5, and that's all you get.
That's it. If you're not there, then you miss out on it. Also coming up in just a little bit, Kelsey Ballerini. We got the big album coming out tomorrow. We'll tell you more about the arena tour that she just announced. And Category 10, it's opening. And we've got a sneak peek inside to show all y'all.
So Jelly Roll, we had a story yesterday. He's lost 100 pounds.
100
Did you see
pounds?
that? 100 pounds.
Can you believe that? That's amazing. Good
He's
for
lost
him.
like an entire Aaron Cooper.
Yeah.
Aaron in the afternoon here.
That's right.
When you stop thinking about it, because she's not big as a minute.
And he said he's not slowing down. He still has more that he wants to lose.
Be easy there, Jelly, because Taco Bell is bringing back 5 nostalgic menu items.
They're doing it just to tempt him.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
The Grand Ole Opry on a Thursday night, Opry Country Classics. John Anderson, if you're listening, how good does it feel to hear Hall of Famer John Anderson on Opry Country Classics in the Spotlight Artist segment tonight? It'll be hosted by Larry Gatlin, of course, brothers Steve and Rudy. They'll be alongside doing those Gatlin hits, Daly and Vincent. Chuck Mead, just saw him at Leadership Music over the weekend. Yeah. And Sonny Sweeney is in the house tonight. 7 o'clock, Big Red Curtain. I'll be there with Larry. And we'll lay a little Opry Country Classics on you. Right now, entertainment with Kelly Sutton.
Well, we've been talking about St. Jude this morning. It's Country Cares for Kids, and it's 35 years we are celebrating of this incredible effort that was put forth by Randy Owen of Alabama. 35 years ago, he said, you know what? I've seen what they're doing at St. Jude. I think that we as a genre, country music, could really come together and make a big difference and impact in raising funds to help St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Since then, and to this date, they have now topped $1 billion with a B dollars raised to help St. Jude. It's absolutely incredible. I was just there Tuesday night, got a chance to host the big dinner, which is kind of the culmination of Country Cares for Kids. And last night, the very last night, they award the Angels Among Us Award. And it is really one of the highest honors because it goes out to the group or individual in country music that has done the most, that has impacted St. Jude. And this year, the recipients were our guys, Old Dominion. Here's what Matt Ramsey had to say about it.
This means more than any of them because it's not about us. It's just a beautiful thing for us to be a part of for a couple of reasons. One is that we can, in this profession, when you're a kid dreaming of it, all the way up until now, you question sometimes why you're doing this and this type of thing and the people involved. with St. Jude and the families and the patients show us that by following our dreams, we can make a difference in people's lives, and that is a huge, huge, huge deal for us. So thank you for showing us that we have a purpose. And also, we are dads. There are 9 children that are the sons and daughters of Old Dominion, and so it's very near and dear to our hearts. But also, just want to say thank you for allowing us to show them that there are good people in this world right now. So thank you guys so much for this. This is very beautiful.
And then they took the stage with Randy and they did mountain music. It was the coolest night ever. So we got a 30-minute set from Old Dominion, and at the end, Randy came out and they did mountain music together. And they did a couple other songs. And then at the very end, everybody gets together and sings Angels Among Us. And they brought up Patience on the stage. Oh,
Didn't you say Megan Maroney was there too?
Megan Maroney was the opener that night.
Okay.
Yeah. And to have Patience and former Patience and country music,
and
newcomers,
that song.
and that song, and everyone is singing it together. There was not a dry eye in the house.
And a shout out to Becky Hobbs, who wrote that song.
It was incredible, an incredible night. Thank you, Randy Owen. Thank you to our friend Lon Helton, who was also a part of that very first one when they got it started.
35 years ago?
35 years ago.
Wow.
Isn't that incredible?
And St. Jude, I looked it up earlier, February 4th, 62, when Danny Thomas
started St. Jude.
Yeah, saw the dream become a reality, and 9,000 people showed up.
Isn't that cool? I mean, truly, I know we hear all the good things that they're doing, but then to see it in action.
Oh, absolutely.
And to see these kids that are there that have either finished their last chemo treatment or are still going through treatment. I want to say hi to my friends Maddie and Gabrielle and Alex. They were all there. Loved hanging out with them. The coolest moment, I sat down at a table and I see this little girl sitting across from me, and I said, "Man, I really like your dress. You look great." And the mom looks at me and she goes, "You look so familiar." And I said, "Well, I'm from Nashville, and I work in country music and I work at the Opry." And she goes, "You were the one that was at the podium the night that you announced Maddie had finished her last chemo treatment." And I had never met her in person. And she
What are the
was
chances?
sitting right across from me. And the dad pulls it up on his phone and he goes, "Is this you?" Because he had the video of me saying, "We have a special guest. She just wrapped up her last chemo treatment." So it was just a very, very cool experience. I love all of it. stjude.org. Get involved if you can. Get that T-shirt that says "This shirt saves lives." Become a monthly donor. You're going to see a lot of these coming out. A new design is there, and everybody's been wearing them, taking pictures. So that's a part of the campaign. Okay. Let's move on to category 10, because we've been waiting for this thing to open forever, it feels like. Of course, if you've been to Nashville and you were ever at the Wild Horse Saloon, you know how big that space is. Mm-hmm. It is now being transformed into category 10. Luke Combs has signed on. It's his likeness and image that we are using as a company to launch this new venture. And we have a sneak peek of what it looks like inside, including a hat wall. Take a look. Here's the video for you. It is going to be massive. When we tell you there's a space for everyone, there truly is. That's the hat wall. Most of those hats are hats that have been given to him over the years, which I think is even cooler because, people give you gifts and then what do you do with them? So I think 82 of these 290 hats are from his personal collection. I'm sure his wife is happy to get them out of the house. The other 208 hats were all sent in by fans. Each one has its own personal story. Hats come from 39 states, 5 different countries, and they're all hanging on the wall behind the stage. Isn't that cool? Look at that. Now, if you want to see more, it's going to be open to the public starting on November the 2nd. So you can come to town, go out, have a good time. And the rooftop's going to be open as well. Gorgeous space. Absolutely.
Less than 2 weeks.
That is less than
today's the 24th of October.
Oh my gosh. You're exactly right. So yeah, check out category 10 when you come into town. It is going to be the hot spot, the place to be. And while you're there, maybe you ask for some Dos Primos, because that is Thomas Rhett's tequila and he would be thankful. Dos Primos, as we found out earlier in the show, means 2 cousins. None of us really got that right because all of us failed Spanish once upon a time. They have a Blanco, a Reposado, and an Añejo. And Thomas says they're going to be expanding even further.
We have a Blanco, a Reposado, and an Añejo. It's good, though. I mean, everyone that tastes it loves it, and most every store in Nashville is carrying it. I think we're in like 38 states trying to work on, getting all 50, obviously, but it's a fun yet challenging business, and I think those are always the funnest to be in, the ones that challenge you.
Okay. If you're looking for it and you don't see it in your liquor store, go to DosPrimosTequila.com. Just saying, we are open for samples over here, Thomas. If you're listening, you could send some our way.
Well, our nostalgic Taco Bell items would go well with Dos Primos, don't you think? Huh?
You
Tostadas?
hit the nail on the head.
Tostada was on the original 1962
and it's coming back.
menu.
What else?
Green burritos, Mexi Melts, beef gordita supremes, and caramel apple empanada.
Zach, what was your go-to?
I always liked the Mexi Melt.
Mexi Melt,
Yeah.
same. But a gordita supreme would be pretty good too. All right. Well, we're going to Taco Bell for lunch today, everybody. And we'll wash down Dos Primos and take a nap.
The tostada was there when they first opened the doors in 1962. Crispy tostada shell topped with refried beans, red sauce, in case you forgot, refried beans, red sauce, lettuce, and shredded cheese. And they axed it back in 2012, but they are bringing it back. So run for the border. And add to that, Kristen Leigh Bearfield in studio with new music. Always great to see her, whether it's solo, which she is this morning, or with High Road, your Grammy-nominated and Dove-nominated group, which has taken a little time off and has given you time to do some solo things. And you just came from the IBMA World of Bluegrass recently, so catch us up on your life and times these days as a solo artist, Kristen.
It's so good to be here this morning. Thank y'all for having me. It has been a busy few months. I was touring in Norway in August, which was so much fun. I was working with one of the longest running gospel music festivals there, Shalga Song, and they just have a wonderful legacy. And the people there love bluegrass, acoustic, gospel, and country music. They love it, and they're so appreciative. They love the old hymns. They love classic country. So it was so much fun. I did the festival with Kinsey Rose, who we were actually together in High Road for years, and then did a solo date, and then a festival with Linda Randall from the Gaithers. So it was a super fun time. And then I came right back home and went into World of Bluegrass in Raleigh, which we just wrapped up a few weeks ago.
And it's moving to Chattanooga, you were telling us.
It's moving to Chattanooga next year. That was the last year in Raleigh. So it was incredible, except the hurricane moved through when we were there, and we were very thankful it passed over us, and we just had to delay the festival to start Friday evening. But then, of course, it hit Western North Carolina and East Tennessee so badly. So there was a big mixture of emotions for everyone there.
And you have a connection to both.
And I do. I grew up in Western North Carolina. That's where my mom's from, and my parents live there still,
Hickory,
right outside of Hickory.
Okay.
And my dad's from Northeast Tennessee, around Jonesboro, Irwin, that area. So I actually graduated ETSU, so I moved back there during college, lived there as a little girl, and then went back during college. So both sides of the mountain are home for me. So these last few weeks have been a really heavy time for everyone.
That's a song. Both sides of the mountain.
Both sides of the
mountain. You got to write that.
Okay. I think we just found us a new title this morning.
Isn't that a great title?
I'm still hunting for those last couple songs for the solo
Particularly
EP.
in
so
light.
maybe that one.
There it is.
In light of what's happened over there.
both sides of the mountain.
So,
I love that.
how's your family? Is everybody okay? The people, friends? I'm sure you've got relations on both sides.
Yes, it's it's just affected so many people that I know, so many people that I grew up with. Thankfully, all of our immediate folks are, everyone's safe and things. But my dad lost someone that he grew up with, and I mean, it just hits so close when so much devastation is so close by. So, it's going to take such a long road to recovery for both areas, and we're all just, it was sort of right at first, it was just a shock for everyone, and now it's just trying to find, and I'm so grateful to see so many folks jumping on board with incredible benefit concerts, all these things that are coming together. It's just, it's incredible to see folks jumping in.
Where were you when all that activity was going on?
I was in Raleigh.
Oh, wow.
So it passed over during World of Bluegrass, so we had to delay the festival.
Okay.
It typically starts at 11 in the morning, and we waited and started it in the evening. And it cleared up and was beautiful there, but had wreaked havoc just a few hours away. So it was it's still a little bit hard to process it all, as it is for anyone that's been affected. So,
Well, you're here in the Acuff House studio, which is
I'm
new to
this is
WSM Radio.
incredible. I'm so
and your
excited.
first visit to our new place.
First visit to the new place.
And you're looking at
Yes.
the entrance across the way there to the Grand Ole Opry House. Give us your Opry history. You are steeped in Opry history, I know for a fact.
Well, that's true. My great uncle was the house fiddle player here at the Grand Ole Opry for many years, Clarence Tater Tate.
Tater Tate.
Fiddle and Tater Tate.
Did he start out with Bill Monroe or
He
work with
did.
Bill somewhere along the way?
He played bass and fiddle for Bill. He switched around and played and did so much studio work here in town. He played. One of my favorite records he played on was the Patty Loveless Mountain Soul. He's on that. And so that was, of course, a big influence on me. And yeah, Uncle Tater is on Dad's side. That's Dad's uncle. So, yeah. So it's so special. Anytime I get to do anything with WSM Radio or the Grand Ole Opry, I mean, I can remember listening on and my grandma, we called her Nana, and I can remember listening on the back porch in Jonesboro with Nana to WSM, and she would tell me stories about Uncle Tater being here and things and things that his wife Welda would tell him, just little funny stories and stuff. And I can remember all of that, and sitting there and listening to this station and thinking, man, if I could just be down there one day, how incredible would that be? And so it's always surreal and so incredibly meaningful anytime I get to be here on these special radio waves.
Well, the new single is Country Faith.
Country Faith.
And you are giving back, speaking of the hurricane relief efforts, to talk about how this works, and we're going to feature that song.
Thank you. Yeah, so Country Faith, I wrote this new single with Bob Minner, Tim McGraw's guitar player, and Bill White. And when we wrote it, we were actually writing it for an upcoming series for Singing News. It's called Faith, Country, and Bluegrass. And we were writing a theme song for Singing News. And so we wrote this back in March, and we just set out to write it like that. And this was already set to release. And everything had happened back home with all of this terrible stuff with the hurricane. And so I got back here to Nashville from Raleigh, and the single was set to come out the next Friday. And I was like, I can't just release this just like it's nothing's going on. It just didn't feel right to me. And so through generous anonymous donations, we were able to, with the first week, match every stream to the dollar, and we're giving that to a dear friend of mine has started relief efforts it's all volunteer led. It's called Hands on Carolina, and they were a big part in leading Operation Airdrop there at the Hickory Airport, and they were flying folks down off the mountain, rescuing and taking missions up into the mountains, because it was one of the best operational bases that was available. And so it's been amazing what all they've done in just less than a month's time. It's been incredible. So we're donating that to them. And but Country Faith, it's such a mesh of everything that I am, because it involves some of my favorite bluegrass musicians, some of the most incredible pickers, and also a friend who's became a friend, I can't believe I can say that, Miss Karen Peck, and member of the Gospel Music Hall of Fame, and just an absolute legend in gospel and Southern gospel music. So I loved having Karen sing some kind of bluegrass with us, which was super fun. And it features Stephen Mogen on guitar. Stephen plays for Sam Bush Band, Rob Ikes on dobro, Andy Leftwich on fiddle, Byron House on bass, and Russ Carson from Ricky Skaggs on the banjo. So
Kristen Leigh Bearfield, what a line.
Coffee, country, and Cody.
And Kristen Leigh Bearfield, don't forget, she's here. And we just featured her new single, Country Faith, as we were going to the break.
Was that the first time you'd heard it on the radio?
yes.
Was it? I saw you pull your phone out, and I was like, oh, this might be the first time.
It was.
It's so
There's
special.
nothing like that. No, especially over this station for me. This is as special as it gets.
We just turned 99, and the countdown to 100 is on.
The countdown's on.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
230 plus shows.
What a celebration that's
between
going to
now
be at
and
the 100th.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
I hope I get to fly on the wall somewhere.
Well, and we were talking about this in the break. You've played it, but not as High Road. You guys haven't
Right.
played it as a band.
No, we haven't. I played with Darren and Brooke Aldridge, and
Okay.
Yep. So I played the Opry with them. And so, no, I've not played it solo or with High Road. So maybe one day, fingers crossed.
We were talking about the work you did early on with your streaming
Yes,
and donations that you made to the victims. Both their families, both sides of their families were affected.
Yes, that's how we're so close. That's how
Yeah.
they're such dear friends of mine. Being from that same area.
Cherville.
So from Cherville.
Cherville.
Yeah.
I'm from right between Cherville and Avery County, up where Brooke grew up. So
And if you're looking that up, it's Cherryville.
Cherryville.
But it's
But if
Cherville.
you're from there, it's Cherville.
I get it. I was born in Louisville, so I get it.
Cherville.
It all makes sense.
We all speak the same language.
No, we played Country Faith. You got to
Country
hear it
Faith.
on the radio for the first time, and then you guys are going to be doing a video for this.
Yes, I'm so excited. We're going to so this is going to be the theme song for a series for Singing News TV, a Southern Gospel publication, and it's going to be called Faith, Country, and Bluegrass. So we're filming it at the Station Inn, and Country Faith's going to be the theme song used for that, and we're going to have some different folks coming in. The artist list is still a secret, but we're going to have some different folks coming in and being a part of the series, kind of talking about their involvement with faith, country, and bluegrass music through the years, and sharing through the music they love their faith, which is something that's so important to me. You know, music to me is a vehicle. As much as I love music, love playing music, but music's a vehicle to connect with folks, right? And so it's universal. It's
Well, you found that out in Norway,
I found that
didn't
out
you?
in Norway. Yes, absolutely. It's universal, and we can connect so beautifully through music. And so we're gonna have fun exploring how these genres have allowed these folks to share their faith in so many different ways. And that's what Country Faith is about. The single, you know, it's about staying true to who we are, clinging to our values, to what's important, digging down deep when times get tough, because tough times are going to come, right? It's not a matter of if the tough times come, it's when they come. Tough times are going to come, and it's really when the rubber meets the road that we even ourselves find out of what we're really made of, right? That grit and that grace, you know. God supplies the grit, and I supply the grit, and God supplies the grace, right? And so that's what Country Faith is about digging down to our roots, staying true to who we are, and you know, talks about being raised up in those kind of those old-timey ways that we don't see a lot anymore, and carrying that with us. And so I'm excited. I'm really excited for those stories as well.
So what's the current makeup of High Road, the group?
Yeah, so Sarah Davison on keys, and we've got a girl named Rachel Crick playing fiddle with us, and she's actually the fiddle player on the General Jackson.
Oh, okay.
She's on the staff band there.
Oh,
So
very cool.
Good for her.
yeah. There's Rachel and Nicole Croteau. She's a songwriter here in town in the country circles, and so we knew her through Emily Ann Roberts, our friend Emily, and we met Nicole a couple years ago through her. So that's kind of the current High Road lineup
Okay.
these days.
You play mandolin
I
in
play
the
the
group,
mandolin and guitar.
But
Yep.
yeah, I was gonna say, but you also play guitar. But you come from an interesting college background that a lot of people don't know exists. As you
Yes.
watch East Tennessee State University, which is where my daughter got her doctorate in pharmacy.
Yes.
You got a music degree through the bluegrass program.
East Tennessee State University has an old-time bluegrass and country music program, and so I was a part of that. I minored in that and had a partial scholarship through the program there, and I majored in marketing communications. But yeah, the ETSU Old-Time Bluegrass Country Music Program is incredible, and you get to focus on and learn about not only just developing your craft, but really the history of the music. And I loved it before that, but especially because of where the program's located, right there in that region, there's so much that you get to dig into. There's also the Archives of Appalachia there, which I would nerd out in school. I would just go into the Archives of Appalachia and just like hang out and just go through all this old stuff and looking at all these incredible pictures. And I love history. I've always been a history nerd anyway. So
They were Kristen's professors. There
Yes.
she is. She's in there nerding out again.
And she's
Look
just
at her.
nerding out.
Where's she at? Well, we know.
She's in the archives. You know where she
She's
is.
just in the archives.
Going to close with Flying Away.
Flying
Not I'll Fly
Away.
Away, but Flying Away, which people can also link. What's the best place for socials?
Instagram at Kristen Bearfield, Facebook Kristen Leigh Bearfield, and I'm on all streaming platforms. You can hear Country Faith and all of my singles there, Spotify, iTunes, Apple, wherever you stream and listen, we're there.
And you hope to have a full album album in the spring, maybe?
Yeah,
Things come together?
I'm 2 or 3 songs away and going to be in the studio this winter finishing that up and looking to be releasing my solo EP this spring. It's been a goal a long time coming. I've recorded music in a lot of different facets over the years and written for different folks and recorded for different folks and a lot of studio stuff. And so this has been a work in progress now for a few years, and I'm really excited for it to take its wings in the world. So,
well, thanks for sharing it with our audience all over the world this morning,
thank you so much
Kristen.
for having me. It's an
You know
honor.
it.
Good to see you.
Kristen Leigh
You too.
Bearfield is on Coffee.